Good evening and welcome back to the Shadows of Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. And my name is Monty Martin, running our campaign as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm von Kessel, the human swashbuckler rogue, and we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Denitis playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe Gorman playing Wrath, the Aasimar Warlock.
Thank you for joining us once again. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, welcome. We are the Dungeon Dudes, and Kelly and I post new videos every other Tuesday and every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything D&D, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. Check us out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
You can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube, and you can check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
And if you enjoy the campaign and the world of Drakkenheim and might want to consider running it for yourself one day, Dungeons of Drakkenheim is now available for pre-order on the Ghostfire Games web store. So you can head on over to drakkenheim.com and you can pre-order for as soon as shipping begins, basically. It'll still be in next year, so starting in probably April. Hopefully all the global shipping still keeps up. But if you miss out on our amazing Kickstarter campaign, you still have a chance to get in on Drakkenheim. So check it out, drakkenheim.com. And with that, we will return to the shadows.
Drakkenheim is no more. For 15 years, we foolishly believed the madness and mayhem of that crumbling city was confined to the ruins. We were wrong. Insidious horrors have crept out of the shadow of Drakkenheim into a world unprepared for such nightmares. Tales of strange magic, swirling haze, and unspeakable terrors echo through the villages and towns surrounding that accursed place. Now, the Dusk Wardens, a new band of heroes, are tasked with driving out the seeping tendrils of the spreading darkness before it takes root.
Welcome back to the Shadows of Drakkenheim. When last we left our heroes, we were in the middle of combat. Once again, just like last week. Try not to make a habit of this, you guys. Sometimes I like to do other things with the basement instead of leaving a combat ready. But in any case, I don't know.
What else do you use this basement for?
Well, there was once a time when we played several games of D&D Hero Week.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? So there was a very brief period where the basement had the stream on Tuesday nights and it had the Sunday game, and then it would have all the other activities that we did during the week. That was back in the before times, before the Great Plague.
I think Kyle did like VR. Kyle did VR, and there was like a media plays.
Yep.
You could just run away, by the way. Like, that's one of the options. Like, the monsters can just leave us alone. Like that, and then the combat's over. Just if you didn't know that was an option.
Well, to give a little context before we get that far even, our heroes last time successfully managed to rescue Charlemagne the Unicorn and the Archdruids, returning with their favors and their agreements and their support to help. Our heroes voyaged on their way back to the Barrows in the Dreamland so that they can return back to the waking world. However, in their journeys in Dreamland, our heroes had heard rumors of the Axe of the Crescent Moon, a powerful weapon favored by Meliki that is said to be hidden here. Our heroes decided to go to its location, which is supposed to be over where Castleholm lies. Journeying into finding the castle not there in the Dreamland, but instead a cavern, our heroes were lured into a horrible trap, where now they are facing down a skeletal monstrosity with elongated hands and a skeletal face that has been called Mr. Bloodwell, as well as a horrific demonic statue that has come into terrifying life. However, our heroes did manage to seize control of the Crescent Moon axe by cleverly using telekinesis to rip it from the grasp of the massive, bloated demonic statue. So you are within a shrouded cavern, but it is important to note that a wall of flame blocks your exit. So I don't know who's talking about run away here, because as far as I'm concerned, one of my monsters has resistance to fire damage. So I mean, now of course the cavern itself, in the waking world, it would be underneath Castleholm. Here, surrounded by a altar, the altar in front of the pedestal of the demonic statue has several books, scrolls, candles, and bones all scattered about. And again, you saw an illusion of Constance Kleinkessel worshipping in front of the statue, which is what led you here, and part of what led you to push the attack in the first place. The cavern itself has the stalactites and stalagmites, and is a large kind of yawning chamber, with only, as far as you know, with only one entrance through the passages that you led down. However, there is a shimmering portal or surface in the top of the cavern. It is roughly 10 feet wide, and roughly the same size as the hole that you saw in the waking world when you were in one of the chambers underneath Kesselholm. And from what you gathered, it corresponds roughly to where that is. Houdini, before having fluttered down here and being down through it and been devoured. Whether this shimmering surface is a mirror, a portal, a fluid of water, or something, you haven't determined that. No one has gone up there to investigate it or check it out. So what its purpose is and what it does is not clear, but its shimmering surface echoes with a midnight black as the light of the wall of flame reflects through the rest of the chamber. With that, we are still in initiative, so we actually have a you go, I go sort of situation. Wilhelm, you will have the chance to act. Currently, Bruce is summoned. You are still concentrating on telekinesis, but have nothing ensnared with it.
Correct.
Okay. And I don't believe anything was affected by Bruce's... The mind whip is not in effect.
Correct. The last thing was the dissonant whisper to... that's the only reason it's far enough away that it's not murdering us all.
Okay. So, Wilhelm, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Wilhelm, after yelling at Rudy that we have to stand and fight, even though she looks quite worse for wear, acknowledging the wall of fire blocking our exit and the huge monstrosity of a creature guarding that exit, Wilhelm continues to push the attack and rushes forward towards the statue, leaping back up onto this table.
It's a very sturdy table.
Yeah, that table's getting a good workout.
Okay.
And I'm going to plunge my moon-touched rapier into the creature. That is going to be an 18 to hit.
That does hit. I
Nice.
don't have my pencil.
Pencil, very important tool for all dungeon
Yeah,
masters.
otherwise
Yeah.
the monsters... Without a pencil, the pencil is the ultimate resistance breaker, because without a pencil, the monsters can't take damage.
Oh, no! No, you have to find the pencil! Oh, that's pretty solid.
What do you got, bud?
29 damage.
Nice. The attack punctures through the stony hide of this strange statue, revealing a gout of blood. It is bloodied, and there is flesh beneath the stony exterior. And the pallor of the statue is something between more like a grizzled, furry stone. It's difficult to see even... is it flesh? Is it stone? Is it both? With the kind of the pallor of its skin, but the dark crimson blood leaks out of it from the wound.
Noticing this, I do turn back and I yell to Rudy, "If it bleeds, it can die!" And I'm going to bonus action dash and leap off the table and start running up the wall.
Okay.
So
Ta-da!
that's I'm about 15 feet up the wall.
All right. 15 feet up the wall. Anything else, Wilhelm?
That is everything.
Okay. The statue, seeing you clutching where the wound comes from, the statue squats briefly and leaps as its wings begin to beat faster and faster and faster and faster as it takes itself into the air
So you're flying.
in pursuit of Wilhelm.
As it squats, I'm like, surely those wings can. Oh,
That can't support
Yeah.
that. Oh!
those wings are far too small. It's flying. It's flying.
It clumsily flies up as a scintillating multicolored light reverberates from its wings. Wilhelm, you can make a wisdom saving throw.
I love it. That's going to be a solid 10.
You are frightened
I am.
once again.
This thing just started flying at me. Of course
Yeah.
I'm frightened.
And it's going to make 3 attacks against you.
I love this. This is what I wanted to happen.
It's all part of the plan.
Ooh. Okay, I get a 20, a 17, and a 16.
2 of them hit.
Okay, so I hit you with the claw and the bite. It flies forward, the first claw going wide, the second one smacking into you for 15 points of damage, and then it reaches in to bite at your leg for 32 points of piercing damage.
I'm going to move my leg a little bit out of the way with my uncanny dodge. Is that the right? I always forget the name.
Yep, uncanny dodge.
Uncanny dodge, and I'm going to half that. So it was 32.
Yeah, it goes to 16.
Man, that bite.
So it's clamped onto my leg, and I start yelling again. Once again, Wilhelm calls for aid. Help!
Wrath, over to you.
I heal Rudy. Wilhelm's fine.
How do you do this?
So reaching into my robes, I produce the U1 that we found from the druids, the wand of cure wounds. What are the powers again?
So you can use, as an action, you can cast Cure Wounds. It has 7 charges, and you can expend additional charges to upcast it. If you expend the last charge, though, you have to roll a d20, and on a 1, the wand turns to ash.
Well, we're not gonna risk it. We're just gonna blow through 6 charges.
Okay, so that's going to
I
be...
poke Rudy in the back of the head.
So that'll be 6d8 plus your spellcasting ability.
15. Not bad. 24 plus 20. 29
Ooh.
healing.
All right.
I feel rejuvenated.
So I take you on, poke her in the back, and then I am going to start making my way over to here.
Okay.
And Bruce is going to, because Wilhelm's on the wall,
Yes.
so he's standing on the wall, and this creature flew over to him.
Yeah.
I want Bruce to run up the wall with his climb speed.
Okay, Bruce runs up the wall.
So he's going to run up
yeah,
the
'cause
wall.
Wilhelm was 15 feet up, so that's definitely enough speed.
And he's going to run up and he's going to attack this creature, casting. We're gonna do mind whip. So it's going to be intelligence saving throw.
Okay, I get a... Wow. 2 on the dice. So that is an 11.
He's gonna take pretty brutal 9 psychic damage, and
Okay.
he will be restricted to a move action or bonus action next turn.
Cool.
And that's Bruce and I as we
All
try
right.
to help.
Mr. Bloodwell is going to rush back up towards Rudy and attack with his claws. Getting a 16 and an 17 to hit.
17 hits because I no longer am carrying 2 weapons, so my AC is now 17.
He slashes deeply into you with his piercing claws, dealing a total of 19 piercing damage. And he can pull and he pulls you in towards you, and you are grappled.
Rudy!
Ah! All right.
Rudy, it's your turn.
And being grappled, I can still...
You can still attack. Yeah,
Hit
and this is
him.
not, you're not restrained by the grapple, you're just grabbed.
So it's just the regular die?
If you use your action to break out, otherwise you're held in place.
Okay.
Yeah. You can still attack, you can still fight, you just cannot move from your space.
And
while
I'm
you're
not
grabbed.
disadvantaged?
You don't have disadvantage on attack rolls or anything. No.
All right. Well, I'm just going to say, I mean, if you want a hug, that comes with the axe. And I'm going to take my lunar crescent axe that I have shining in my hands.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hit him.
Okay.
So that's a 20 to hit.
That's a hit.
18 damage.
The axe slices with a flare of light.
1. I take another hit. Oh, this one is 15 to hit.
That's a hit.
Ooh.
Yes.
That is 12 damage.
Okay.
Nice.
And then as my bonus action, because I'm shifted, I did that last time to get the extra temporary hit points, but I can actually use my bonus action to bite his face.
Oh,
So I'm gonna do that too. And that is
wow. Almost crit. Yep.
almost 28 to hit, and that is 9 damage.
Nice. Tearing into him.
Yeah. Taking the axe in hand, you slash again, and then bite deeply of it, ripping flesh and bone through flesh and bone as you do so. The creature shambles and stutters, and mutters something under its breath, but it still stands.
Nice.
I growl at him.
Wilhelm, it's your turn.
Trying to shake this thing off of my leg. I'm climbing the wall, and I now pull my rapier back out and attempt to stab it through its stupid head.
Okay.
I crit.
Okay. Let's see how he does with the crit.
So that's gonna be
Now, I hate to be that guy, but aren't you frightened of him?
Oh no.
You can roll 2 crits.
Yeah, you can roll with.
I mean,
Stranger things have happened.
do you believe? Do you believe? Do you believe?
I just rolled another crit.
Get it on the.
You
Get it on
didn't
the
get that
cam.
from our reaction.
See, you're not scared. You're not scared.
You're not scared.
Oh my gosh.
That was a well earned. You earned that crit.
You did.
You earned it.
Wow.
Wow. That was amazing.
That's gonna be 51 points of damage.
What happens?
So it's biting into my leg, and I'm on the wall there. And as Bruce blasts it with his mind whip, and I see it in this moment of daze, it like looks up at me in its moment of daze, and I just plunge the blade right through one of its eyes and down into it, and it falls off of my leg and crashes
There's
to the
this
ground.
small snapping, like sound like a mirror being smashed, as if you just snapped or broke like the most critical thing that animates the energy of the statue, and it crumbles apart into stone and collapses to the ground.
You're not scared.
Apparently, Wilhelm was not scared in that moment.
Or you're like super scared and you did exactly what you needed to do.
You know how sometimes when you get scared, you like hyper focus.
Yeah.
That's the fear caused me to hyper focus in that moment.
I think that's like 1 in 400. Like the odds of that are like, yeah.
That's why they call me Wilhelm 1 in 400.
Or maybe even lower than that. Like it's outrageous.
Do the math, Chad. Please.
I guess I still have a bonus action.
Have you ever seen
I've never.
a crit on disadvantage?
I've
before?
never. No, I've never.
That's
I-
first for me.
Boom. That was beautiful.
Weird thing, just a really weird thing. Before that turn, I looked up my crit damage because I have it written down just for
Yeah.
simplicity. Just I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I crit. And I was doing the math already. I guess I just felt it. I
just
felt
knew
like
you-
it was time.
The energy.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That was amazing.
Then, on the wall, I turn to the bone creature and pull out my crossbow with my bonus action.
Okay.
Am I still frightened, or is the fear gone?
No, because the object of your fear is gone.
Yes.
Let's see if I can roll a third 20 in a row. No,
No,
I didn't.
that would have been fantastic.
Although it's a 20, not like
That's a hit.
yeah.
That's solid.
Let's do an additional 7 points of damage to it.
But I only have 7 hit points left.
I plunge my blade through the beast, kick it off the ground, pull out my crossbow perched on the wall, and shoot the other creature as Rudy is biting into its face. I shoot it through the neck, and there's a burst of blood.
Wow.
That's how you will help. Or something. I don't know. This was a fluke.
See, a funny thing happens when you guys actually decide to do damage.
We just focus. Hyper focus.
I think between those that like I went from very alive to very dead very quickly between those 2 turns. Wow.
Wow.
The flames die down.
I climb off the wall.
Bruce follows you. He purrs.
I am hurt. But we
Do you
did
need
it.
healing? I can heal you. I got potions. I got not much magic, but what do you need? You did amazing in there. That was the best fighting I've ever seen.
Killed everything.
I mean, the situation was unlikely that we would be able to run, so it seemed important that we give it our all.
How did you know to stab that creature where you did?
You see, in all my years of learning to fight, a general rule of thumb is if you stab them in the eye, they probably are going to die.
Unless it's you.
Unless it's me. See,
Exception that proves the rule.
exactly. I am the exception to the rule. I was stabbed in the eye and lived.
Fascinating.
Therefore, it's kind of my thing to stab other things in the eye.
I'm taking
now.
note.
I mean, when you're low on options, do whatever it takes. It's one of my rules.
Fantastic. You saved us.
Um,
It was... I could feel the energy leaving yourself, Rudy.
Rudy, are you okay?
I'm all right. I've a bit of a bloody nose, but nothing like you. Look at you. Got scratch marks all over you and
Oh, this thing bit my leg. I hope I don't turn into whatever that was.
stone creature.
Yeah, it's bleeding quite profusely. I'm going to probably drink one of my greater healing potions. Which does a solid 20. I'm cool to do that?
Yep.
All right.
The cavern is quiet.
I
look to the ceiling.
I'm going to start walking up the wall
Okay.
as I do towards the ceiling, and I'm going to get a closer look at this shimmering pool.
You walk along the ceiling towards the shimmering pool. As I said, The surface of it is like moves like a pool of water, but it shimmers like a mirror that is made out of like black glass. With the light in this chamber gone, it doesn't reflect like it did before, but peering through, you can make out something on the other side. There is hints of red light. Give me a perception check.
22.
You look through, and you see those crypt chambers underneath Castleholm.
Fascinating.
Well, the problem is, I relay this to you. Guys, it looks like this leads to the dungeons of Kesselholm.
This is where Houdini flew.
Well, he flew the opposite way last time, down here where some sort of, I assume this monster ate him. And I guess the crypts are upstairs. Now the question is there something waiting for us in this dream world up in those crypts?
The other problem is I don't think we're quite ready to attack Kesselholm yet.
No.
I mean, we're injured. We need a rest. We need to leave Dreamland. Is traversing through this pool?
No. We did what we came to do, is recover the axe to fulfill the ritual.
And hopefully it's considered, well, assume inherited, if what they say is true.
But the intention of attacking Kesselholm was only under the presumption that this axe existed in the non-dream world. By recovering it as we did, we do not need to. We must then go and help the druids escape this place and leave.
With the axe, we have the means to help Rickard and recruit the Steel Fangs, which gives us a better option of attack. So the next question is, it seems that Constance has a direct link to the dream realm through this pool. Is there means to destroy it? Perhaps cutting her off from the dream realm. Perhaps not traversing it, but blocking the entrance.
Is the pool sort of on the ceiling, or is it part of the ceiling?
You would need to get up there to examine it. From here, it looks like it is impossibly like you are looking at water impossibly suspended on the ceiling.
If you yell that to me, I can try to...
Can you? I could also send Bruce up too. He can walk on the wall with you, and hopefully I can see like.
Bruce cannot spider climb.
Oh, he can climb.
Yeah, he can climb. He can climb walls, but he can't climb like upside down.
Ceiling, yeah.
Yeah.
Wilhelm, you must be my eyes.
Are you going to do that thing where you enter? Are you going to enter into me and see through my eyes?
No, just need you to be really good at what you do.
Oh, okay. I'm going to...
Tell me, can you determine if this pool is part of the structure of the cave itself, or is it something that lives on top of or within? Is the magic separated, or is it part of the cave structure?
With those questions, I kneel up. I guess because I'm upside down. I kneel, and I'm going to I actually take my thieves' tools out, and I'm going to start tinkering and picking away, and I'm going to do a thorough examination.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
29.
Did you just crit that as well?
Yeah. That's
Wow.
three 20s that I've rolled tonight.
Wow.
Weeds.
Someone,
you, dice.
Someone took the lucky feat. Okay. As you needle the watery surface, this is a very peculiar feeling. For it has, to the touch, though it looks like water, and mirror, as you get close to it, it handles like a piece of silk. And you can pull the edges of it.
I start to gather it.
As you pull the edges of it, you have to pull the edge by reaching through to the other side.
Okay. I do. Let me just get that up in there.
As you pull it, the edges of the surface, what you realize is that on the inside, if you pull this, you're not pulling it, you can't pull it through it, like you can't pull it inside out. You can only pull it in the material, in the waking world, right? But on the other side, whatever this is resting on just a cavern floor.
But I have no way to gather it from this side. I would have
No,
to.
you would have to gather it from the other side.
Does Bruce or Houdini want to go through and try to gather this up and fly away?
Houdini, you were stuck behind a firewall. You could be useful for once. And I send him up and see if he goes through it.
He does go through it. From the other side, Houdini just sees down into the cavern. And from the other side, it's very difficult to even see that it, like, now that Houdini knows what to look for, like, are you seeing through his senses? Is that...
Yes. I think he
Well-
goes through and I'm like, hold on a sec.
Incidentally, as he goes through, his senses cut out. Because he's in a different world.
Do I not sense him at all even?
No.
I don't
You
know
can
if
see
Houdini
him.
is... Oh, I can see him?
Yeah, but you can't... The connection between familiars is broken by it.
I mean, he's there, but he's not there. There's some block in the connection that I have with him. I don't know.
Perhaps we just need to leave this for now. I don't think, again, delving into the dungeons of Kesselholm as we are, we need to leave the Dreamland and get a rest.
Can you determine where it is in the caverns?
Am I able to, like, know where in the castle that is?
Yeah, it's where Houdini went through in the
Yeah,
I mean, could it be that last time he might have gone through into the dream world
it's possible.
and we sent him, and that's actually the real world up there? If we needed to get into it, we go up. And can I whistle? If I whistle back and go,
Yep.
and can he hear me?
Yeah, he comes back down.
Okay. Well, I mean, seems like he can travel through no problem.
I'm not sure what to make of this. I mean, it seems like a great infiltration point, but we are not equipped at this current time to infiltrate, are we?
No, but
No.
knowing, we have to know that the Countess has this means of travel.
Yes.
Into
She
the
may
dream world.
leave the material plane as soon as we...
It might be important that when we do infiltrate the castle, after we've recruited the Steel Fangs, we come here and gather this first, so that if she thinks this is her means of escape, we take it away from her.
Or
Or,
knowing that we could probably gather this up on the other side, if she does escape, could we trap her in the dream world?
I mean, that's possible, but,
Not that I don't want to take care of her, but
I mean,
I know we wouldn't want to get stuck in there. But
It is fascinating to think, like, if a creature can move back and forth between these two worlds, and by other means, these druids need to have a place in the real world and one in the dream world where they exist simultaneously. If she is only in the dream world, what that might mean, what might happen.
The thing that makes me uneasy, rule number 10, confirm your kill. If we sentence her to hopefully die in the dreamland, we don't know.
We don't know yet.
She could come back with an army of dream monsters. Maybe she comes back with the Zoogs and destroys us all, and it's not a chance that we should take.
Although the other thing is, if she goes in, is it that her spirit goes in and her body still stays in the other world?
Good question.
Then she would be most vulnerable if we can catch her going in, remove the exit, destroy the body. This is all something that we're going to have to investigate, unfortunately, when we infiltrate the castle. We won't know the answers unless we try to observe her using this portal and remain unseen, which in itself is a challenge.
She knows we're here. She knows we very quickly will realize that we've dispatched her statue and her guard.
This is the difficult thing. If we leave now, which we should do, the smart move is to leave, to go recuperate and recruit. But that means that she has all the time in the world to come down here, see what we've done, know that we're still alive, and know that she can probably surmise that we know a bit more.
I got one more idea. What if, from this dream side, we can block it? So regardless if the portal's open on the other side, it's blocked from this side with something. I don't know what. We have something around here.
Could you summon some wooden planks to put...
There's just something that you're fixated on building materials for some reason as like a magic caster. Like you need a construction crew, I think is who you're looking for.
How was the...
I
how was
cast
the academy
magic that
fortresses built? I thought it was with magic.
it was with stone and magic. Like there's
Stone? Magic?
Okay, I just feel like you're.
What about the
undermining.
druids? Could the druids grow something over top of this that's like invulnerable or something? So
Yes, their magic's quite good at construction and building using plants and things of that nature, far beyond the arcane magic I've seen.
There is this spell scroll I did find amongst the druids. I kept it.
what is it?
The transmute rock spell.
How wide is this mirror?
10 feet wide.
The transmute rock, we can turn rock to mud or mud to rock. So I was thinking, could we melt the ceiling, but it wouldn't really do anything if it was just rock to mud. Or like in the other side, if you could turn like...
Could we put mud all over this mirror and then you turn it to rock?
You would have to...
Houdini could roll in the mud, roll himself all over it.
It might slow her down, but she would definitely have to break through some kind of mud wall. But it may. It's something like this. Something.
Most useful when you can cast it twice.
Yes. Yes.
And we don't have any mud around here.
But if this
There
sheet,
is mud, but you would need to haul a considerable amount of mud.
Yeah, that'd be a lot. All right. Well,
can we get another lay of the room now that it's sort of empty?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get a lay of like what's in the room beyond like the statue's now crumbled?
A
the other
lot of
creatures-
bodies, a lot of skeletons, a lot of bodies, and before the altar where the demon statue was, there is a magic circle with a pile of bones arranged around it, several candelabras, and several books and tomes and scrolls and piles of bones scattered about. There are some torch sconces that are hung up here and there, but by and large, this layer is filled with refuse and rubble.
Are any of the bodies fresher, like non-skeletal?
The bodies, it's not correct even to say that they're bodies. This is dismembered body parts and mostly bones.
I mean,
We saw her go through the ritual. She gathers the blood well creature. It gathers the blood from the creature that we are inside of in Dreamworld, and it feeds it to the Countess. We have now potentially cut off a bit of her blood supply.
And these scrolls and books, going through them, is there anything worthy of note?
Looking at many of the books, do you know that idea that in a dream, when you look at words on a page, it's just gibberish of letters and whatnot? Most of the books are of this nature. The arcane decipherings upon them indicate that these are probably, that said, they're probably spell books. In that respect, Wrath, these are spell books that a wizard would be able to copy the knowledge of the spells from. Several of the tomes, examining them a little bit more, you recognize that there are arcane sigils associated with demonology, summoning, planar travel, and the like amongst
Someone's
them.
messing about, and they ended up in the wrong place.
But Rudy, roll me a d6.
6.
Okay. Amongst them are several spell scrolls. There is a spell scroll of conjure, of summon greater demon.
Oh.
And a spell scroll of magic circle, and a spell scroll of planar binding.
oh.
What?
Oh, that was Kelly.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't Wilhelm. Wilhelm doesn't know.
Gibberish on a page. Yes.
I mean, even some of these spell books, could we sell them later to a wizard that might want to know more knowledge?
I mean, if there's any of note, I would love to. But maybe are any of them academy books?
The Academy has a lot of books, and they're not usually marked as Academy books.
I was thinking like a wizard of note that might be academy ranking.
Here, it's possible. You would need to spend time deciphering them to determine who penned these books.
Got it.
But all in all, there's 7 tomes. And if you'd like to take them, you certainly can. They may be even for what they are, they may be valuable.
Let's take them. I like it, Rudy.
Yeah, maybe River will give us some money for them.
While you two are doing this, I've created a ruse of sorts to mislead our enemy.
Oh.
I've gathered a few of the scattered body parts and laid my old cloak down next to them, as well as my old rapier. And I'm like, look, dead Wilhelm.
I hope she's not watching, but
You're examining
Okay.
this too as you're doing this.
Now she'll come down and think that we all killed each other.
I throw a hand axe down, the one I'm not attuned to. I'm like, there is my contribution to the ruse.
You know, I'm not asking us to give up our valued possessions. I'm just carrying some old clothes and
I then
old
pick
weapons.
up my axe again. I say, all right.
I mean, that was a good contribution.
I throw the axe back down.
Yeah,
You're
I'm gonna leave some old clothes as well.
Okay.
I only have these clothes.
Because she's not going to be confused by the fact that her giant demonic statue is gone. So
You know, it's possible to
Wilhelm needs this. Okay,
Yeah.
we're doing this for
you're
Wilhelm.
you're acting as if people can't kill each other at the same time. It's quite possible.
Okay.
I might have died of my wounds or been ripped to pieces. And
is there anything else you guys would like to investigate around here?
I believe we must reunite with the Druids and leave Dreamland once and for all. or until we get a blanket of dreamland and we go wherever we want.
I'm excited about this blanket of dreamland.
But,
We must acquire it
yeah.
from the castle.
But yes, leaving might be the best course of action. How are you for healing?
It stopped bleeding.
Smart.
It's probably going to be a scar, but I have a few of those.
Okay.
I think once we're out of dreamland, we'll all get a good night's rest wherever we can, because I'm at my limits.
You reunite with Paddock, the druids, and Charlemagne, who tend to your wounds and guide you through the last walk of dreamland. They ask you what happened, and Paddock expresses a little bit of concern at being told about what you discovered in the cavern. He says, "You've recovered the Crescent Moon Axe, which you should be accomplished. You should feel accomplished for that. But this blanket of dreamland, I've never heard of anything like this before. It disturbs me."
Could a creature exist in only one place?
To enter dreamland bodily, it can happen. There are places in the world where creatures can stumble into the dreamland. The legends say that the elves used the dreamland, came out of the dreamland into this world, that their gates were a way of coming through from wherever they came from. Of course, as you no doubts have seen, space is a little bit different here in Dreamland. Journeys that would take you days in the waking world take mere hours, if that, in the Dreamland. But one thing that I've never heard of is in the Dreamland, there's still the space between the stars. And I've never heard of any dreamer walking that way and coming back, well, with their mind intact.
So crossing that threshold may be the last thing.
Again, it's not impossible. It's the dreamland is, well, it's what, like one big thin place. And the great thing about it is that the dreamland is only just a good night's sleep away. And so there's lots of magic that taps into it. It's almost like a borderland, a place where you can get to other places very, very easily. But you have to be careful wandering the dreamland, and especially if you go there physically. Who knows how it could affect you? Us here under the effects of this spell, even us, while our bodies rest in the waking world, we can die here. We can be changed here. And so when your body is here, well, that's a whole other matter.
Could it have
What
something?
did it feel like when you reached through?
You know, when you're dreaming and you have a sense of your body, but it all feels just somewhat misplaced.
That numb feeling, like when a part of your body goes to sleep, but the rest of you is awake.
Yes. It was that, which is odd because I was reaching from the dream world into the real world, but it felt as if it was the dream and I was in the reality.
Strange.
She feasted on a creature from the dream world. Could it be the reason why she may travel from one to the other?
As I said, a vampire is a creature of the night. And night is when the dreams come out. And also when the nightmares have their way. The vampires, they prey on the blood in the body, but there's more than just blood that nourishes a vampire.
I mean, what else nourishes a vampire? I just heard stories of them drinking blood. What?
Well, the blood is... There's a kind of magic in the blood, too. You see it in all the dark spells that get worked. Is the vampire drinking the blood because that's what they eat? Or is the vampire drinking the blood because it's the pathway to a greater magic?
Terrifying.
Don't start drinking blood, Raph.
It's just that could be my ticket.
You have enough tickets.
I think I'll backburner the blood thing.
That's what makes a vampire a terrifying creature. Because in a vampire, you have a creature of the night, a creature of the blood, and a creature of magic. A creature that can tap into all sorts of the energies that are around. Dangerous. It lets them even exert a kind of power over the land. I mean, the vampire transforms into animals of the night. That kind of power, immense. Well, terrible.
Well, I mean, we've got quite a fight on our hands coming up, and I guess whatever we can do to know a little bit more about them would help us. Thank you.
After some time, you return to the barrows of Maliki, and each of you lay down upon where you fell asleep. And when you wake, it is as if from a fitful dream. Opening your eyes, you feel fully rested.
Long
Long
rest?
rest?
Yeah.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
And what you still recall what happened in Dreamland, but it's the recollection of an extremely vivid dream. Parts of it that don't make sense. And of course the strangeness of waking up with an axe.
Oh, yeah.
New things.
Yeah.
How
Just
did
gonna
this
grab
get
my-
The
Fire
new
hatch.
things that you find on your persons.
strange?
And the feeling is almost like, oh, but I always had this.
Strange.
I look over at Bruce.
The cat purrs and winks.
He's his normal self, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's just a cat now,
Just a
right?
cat.
But he nods
Just a cat.
as you open your hand and see the key in your hand.
And I have it. I want to imagine that it's sort of invisibly draped around my neck and held underneath my cloak.
Boys, I had this weird dream where Bruce was this big old thing, and it was terrifying. But I felt so much better waking up and just seeing him like this. And
You're actually the last ones to wake up. As you arrive, the druids are already awake, and as you rise, Stoneheart, the dwarven woman, who again, like, have I seen you?
I know.
Oh, I know you. And she comes down with a wooden tray and a few freshly prepared fruits and meats and some cups of water and says, I thought you'd be hungry, so I fetched you something to eat when you wake up. I always like a good breakfast when I get up in the morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
it's so nice.
I just can't quite recall what happened. I'm doing my best to hold on to what we accomplished. But you were there, and you were there.
I had a similar dream. In my dream, though, I had incredible depth perception. Uncanny. Is this how you guys just see all the time? It's been a long time.
I had a mind for when I was a bit less aged in the face. Good times.
Time has been terrible to you. Oh my god.
Never tell a lady that.
Raph, rule number 59, when you can be anything, be kind. That was not kind.
No, it's
all right.
It's all the wisdom.
It's all my
that I see.
memories
It's-
and wisdom.
yes,
Exactly.
That's an amazing axe. Is that what we went for?
I
Did
think
you always have that axe?
I didn't,
That's your
but
axe?
I did.
That's your axe.
It's my axe.
Right?
But I didn't think it always looked like this. And it's quite more shiny than I'm used to.
Now, between the weeks, Jill, you had asked me if you could take the opportunity, because you leveled up last week, if you could take the opportunity to do some retraining. And as you awake from the dream with your memories shifted, did you want to take that opportunity?
Yeah. I think I need to work this in a little bit, but if you give me a little bit of time, I think I can get pretty good with it. Boys, do you mind? Do you mind?
Not at all.
All right. And I'm going to go off and find a tree, the biggest tree I can find. And I'm going to work with the axe and get a little bit more proficient with it. So
Okay.
I am going to switch some my fighting style up and feet, if that's okay.
Yeah. I'm okay with this. So what are you changing?
So I'm changing. I'm going to change my fighting style to defense. Since I lost some AC, it's going to give me a plus
Plus
one.
one AC?
And then I'm going to take, instead of dual wielding, I'm going to take Great Weapon Master.
Oh, no.
Whoa, yeah.
You did this to yourself, Monty.
What's your? I want to imagine Rudy's training montage. What's your training montage?
First of all, we're just sitting by, like, patching up our wounds and, like, sipping tea and sitting, watching
Conversing,
Rudy conversing. And Rudy goes on her epic montage.
So I first start and I'm running through the forest, finding trees, and the little ones I'm kind of culling in one swing as I go. Another point, I'm like climbing trees to get used to the strength of the axe using it. And then another one again, I find the largest tree and I let out a woo, and I cut down the biggest tree. And I walk back into the druids and say, "There's plenty of firewood out there for you. You'll never need that again."
The druids have a horrified look on their face, and one of the druids said, "Some of those trees were my friends."
This is where we make our lead.
Let's get going.
Thank you for the hospitality.
Thank you for pulling us out of Dreamland and
Ow! That's really all I could say.
Several of the druids immediately start using plant growth spells to heal the damage that you have done. But understandly, they
We got them out of Dream World. It's great.
they'll overlook
us.
that part because they are alive because of you. So
What was the favor that I asked of the druids? They're helping us somehow.
yes, says Static. You have a werewolf you want us to help you deal with. A werewolf and a vampire. What an odd pairing. Seems like the plot of some strange movie. What's a movie?
story. It's a
Story.
story with pictures.
I mean, I've read both a very good book about that and very bad books about that. So it's a classic story.
I have to thank you for what Charlemagne did. This was a path that I was set upon that, if not undone, would have terrible consequences.
You stand amongst the standing stones and the moon tree of the above the barrows of Mount Lakey, as Tadok stands with Charlemagne, who in the daylight is a radiant creature. He places his hand on Charlemagne's unicorn Charlemagne's neck, and and Tadek says, "Truth be told, we dealt with a lot back there in Dreamland, but a Loup Garou is another matter entirely. You said now, this man, this Rickard, he wants to be cured.
That's what he told us.
Well, we better get back quickly. In order for us to do this, the full moon is only 2 days away. So, what we will need to do is prepare a place. I will prepare the mixtures to anoint him with. The way we can cure his curse is he will be anointed with the mixture. Drink it deeply under the moon. This will transform him. Under a full moon, a Loup Garou has no control of themselves. We'll need a plan for that.
I mean,
Well, sure, we can tie him down and hold him down with some magic, right?
We have
You'll need
means.
powerful magic. I've seen a Loup Garou break chains.
We have magic, and we do have well,
us?
us. Yeah.
Well, I mean, combine the chains with the magic that you exhibited in Dream World. That was fantastic.
The Loup Garou must then be mortally wounded by inherited silver. And as it gasps its dying breath, Charlemagne will heal him.
And this will undo the curse.
Will break the curse, yes.
Will all those that this Loup Garou cursed also be free?
I certainly hope so. Yes.
And will this get rid of that curse, or will it move it on?
It will end the curse.
I'm going to surrender the ingredients, the sparkling waters. I mean, it's kind of theirs.
I was gonna ask if they had some extra.
Technically, it's got your name on it, but I'm going to surrender the.
Take it off
But
the
you're
list,
keeping the
it's fine.
wand.
What wand?
And I'm keeping the boots and the amulet.
What wand? What boots? What amulet?
I'm whispering.
Oh, the wand regains 6 charges.
Amazing.
Oh.
That is our. If we can undo this curse, he will be in our debt. And he will help us fight the Countess.
Now the question is, I guess we're healing him before we go and fight the Countess. He's gonna be a regular man at that point.
He's still a warrior.
I mean, that's true.
And he has an army of warriors. And I do plan to make an offering to those men and women who follow him. Once they're free of their curse, I'm sure some of them have families that they do wish to return to. But if they don't, if any of them feel obliged to stay, they can be recruited into the Hooded Lanterns and be the army of the Von Kessels.
Right. Earn a wage.
Right?
Earn a decent living.
So there is an option for them. If they have nowhere to go, there's ways that they can help.
We plunder the castle of Kesselholm Keep. We take the funds that the Countess is using
And
to pay for
delirium.
them, and we
help. The Hooded Lanterns.
continue their support.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hooded Lanterns came up for an army, so let's give them an army.
That's the goal.
All right.
This is what River wants. River wants us to.
We haven't
Help
checked in with
these-
her. Should we give her a message?
We can. I mean, I am more powerful now than she could ever understand.
Should I say, you'll never believe what we've been through, and Wrath is much more powerful. Is that what you want to say?
Just say Wrath powerful. Save sending.
All right, I do take the sending stone and I just send her. You'll never believe what we've been through. We'll update you later. Wrath more powerful.
River responds, "Glad to know you're well. Strange magic's been detected in Drakkenheim of late. Everything's okay. Be safe. Chat soon."
Great.
Strange magic in Drakkenheim feels like a regular Tuesday.
Seems like, yeah, normal.
Do you think it could have been us? Because we were in the castle.
I mean, if strange magic caused Charlemagne to get stuck in the first place in Drakkenheim, us damaging the rift and freeing Charlemagne may have caused.
Well, maybe the steward and his magic, right? Because he was the one pausing it all.
Yes, the steward.
Nice man.
He is.
Quite a nice man.
I
And the door is closed.
And yeah,
And he keeps watch.
that might affect it on the real side. Who knows?
and may it never be opened again.
Hopefully.
The cat meows.
That's right, Bruce. We did a great job.
You have a weird memory of your dream of Bruce. It doesn't make any sense. The cat was talking in the dream. It was very weird.
I've had dreams like that. I mean, it was funny. I've been hanging out with you and Bruce so long that I just imagined that he could talk.
As
It's just a
time
cat, though.
You
so
heard his thoughts. You can't unhear them.
I
They are forever.
had a dream, Raph. Calm down.
as time goes on, do we forget more and more? You know, like when you have a dream
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like you only
more-
recall certain pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly the ones that stuck out, right? You know, there will always be certain moments that you carry with you from that time, but it's like every time you recall it, like every time you recall a dream, it gets more and more difficult to remember exactly it. But I leave that to you to decide how that works for your characters.
I think I had a dream that you attacked my father.
Oh yeah, you remember him blowing up your father's severed head. Yeah, it was horrible.
That I don't think happened.
I mean, maybe not in your dream, but I'm telling you I dreamt that. I'm
Why
just
would you
letting
dream that? I don't know why you would try to dream that.
Well,
and bring that up
probably
while
because
you
of the
said-
horrific things that happened to my father and the fact that you blow things up. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I could see how you could sort of piece together that, but I don't see how.
dreams don't
I'm
always make
probable.
sense. It's,
I
I'm
don't
not
see-
saying you did attack my father. I'm saying that
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he didn't.
I'm
he
just
said-
I'm just having a Raph. Oh man, it's hard.
Haddock offers to use the transport via plant spell to help you get back to Kesselholm.
Wow.
It's been some time since I've been there, but I remember an old oak or two. Hopefully no one's chopped them down.
Listen, the only trees I've chopped down is around this area. I swear to you, it's mostly heads there that I've chopped off. So
Specifically, could you bring us to the lodge?
I've been in those parts of the woods before, but not should be able to get us within a few hours travel.
yeah, just maybe right outside.
It's just me and Charlemagne coming.
As long as the two of you can help us with the Loop Guru,
The rest of my circle has been through a lot,
I understand.
and I have a responsibility to them. I can help you. I owe you a debt, and I can help you with this Loop Guru. I have a few other things that I can offer you to help you as well. It's the least I can do.
I thank you for all of that, and I offer you and the other druids who are staying behind. First of all, I honor and thank the help that they did provide us. And if everything goes well, I don't know what I'm capable of offering, but if we can reclaim Kesselholm in the future, should you need anything, I will do my part to aid the druid circle.
I'm not much of a warrior myself, but I'll say this. On the eve of your battle, I will conjure up the spoils of Meleki's hunt. Partake of those, and may her blessings embolden you in the battle ahead. In other words, he's going to cast Hero's Feast for you.
Cool. On the eve of the battle.
He can cast it for you once.
Cool.
So it's up to you when you want to use it.
Yeah, probably on the eve of the battle.
Agreed.
Yeah, we just ate. Thanks to the
Stoneheart.
So
Yeah.
And there is one other thing. I do not offer this of any small offering, but the three of you risk your lives for me and my flock. Should any one of you go into that dark night of death, come back to me and I will wake you.
Wow. I mean, that's mighty generous of you.
You can do that?
It is not outside my power. It is a grand spell, and one that I only invoke for those who have earned it. But as far as I'm concerned, I owe you my life. And thus, if I can repay that debt, then we will be even.
That is such an incredible gift, and again, I thank you.
Of course, as far as we're concerned, there is no debt, but we appreciate the thought, and we appreciate that if something does happen to us, that we know that we got friends in other places that'll help us.
Unfortunately, be so you know, at least one of you will have to, it's a life for a life. So, I can only offer this for you once, for one of you.
Understood. So don't all die. Is what he's saying.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah, don't all
Yeah.
just do it one
Like,
time.
if we're going to die, one of us needs to die.
Yeah.
I volunteer.
As tribute.
You think I would let you die on my behalf?
If
No.
one of us is going to die, it has to be me. It's the right thing to do.
You gotta focus on
If there's a
not dying.
I imagine we start arguing about a theoretical situation where there would be a sacrifice play and how it would have to be me, but
You're like, I would dive in front of you. No, I would dive in front of you,
I just
diving
don't
in front of
understand,
me.
like why you would dive in front. Like let one of us die, and then we just all. Like I also have the like I wrote your names down. Like you're fine. Like everything's
we're
fine.
already arguing about who's going to die.
I will die for you.
I will die
Aw.
for you.
I don't want to die for either of you. We're not gonna.
We
wait
know,
for it.
Raph. We know.
Listen, you would die for Bruce, though.
Can you bring back Bruce?
No, you would die for Bruce, so you would
cannot
protect Bruce.
Waste the hour and 10 minutes every time to bring him back. Revive my cat.
If we waste this one revive on your cat that you can summon back,
It's not that I can. It's that do you care enough? That's
What?
Oh, you're shaking your head so quickly.
Raph,
You know what? We don't have to worry about this. We're all in great health.
Exactly.
We have escaped dreamland with our lives.
Our goal is to never have to use
you're
it.
cured.
You're cured.
I feel a sense of urgency disappearing.
Less lupine, more
I
feline.
feel much more aligned with Bruce than I ever have.
That's good.
All right. What's your next move?
I guess we're heading back to the lodge to talk to Rickard and let him know what's up.
All right.
How much time has it been in the real world?
Only a few days have passed, but the full moon is now 2 days away.
Okay.
So with that, Tadek casts Transport via plants. And you step through one tree and emerge in the next. And that's where we'll take our break.
Hey.
And we are back from our short rest. We have restocked our consumables, filled our bellies with pasta. Thanks, Kirsten. And we are ready to play some more D&D. With that, appearing in the woods near Kesselwald Lodge. You find a forest trail and make your way back towards where the lodge is located. There, it is the Steel Fangs are on high guard and high alert as you come back, and the several of them look rather surprised when you return. They go, "They're back! They're back!" And they call out, and one of the soldiers says, You didn't escape. Pretty unbelievable. Guess you do have some honor."
A man is only as good as his word, and we intended to keep ours from the start.
Tadek, as you approach, says, "Charlemagne and I will keep our distance for now, but we would rather not get entangled with these mercenaries."
Understand.
I mean, they are of Chromac, so keep your distance.
Kesselwald Lodge, again, is a big manor house in the midst of a large estate with a servants' outbuilding and a stables. The Steel Fangs have barricaded several areas around it and actually set up several watch posts. And they lead you back in through the front doors of the manor, and they say, "Boss says you're supposed to give us your weapons."
Still,
Show them, Rudy.
And I mean, I can't really take it out anymore. It's a giant axe. I'm just holding it.
As you produce the axe, a shiver goes down the spines of the soldiers who, some of them say, that thing makes me feel. They shun away from it. You hang on to that. Just don't show it in front of us.
I chase them with it a little bit, like. Yeah, that's right. That's what happens when you try to take our weapons. Don't worry about it.
if I'm to give you my weapons, I need confirmation that,
You know what? Never mind. I'll tell the boss it's fine.
Very good. Is Elias here, and is he well?
You'll see him in a minute.
You've taken good care of him?
Oh yeah, we've taken good care of him.
I didn't like the way you said that. That was odd tone.
Well, you don't have to like anything.
I chased them with it again.
I don't like that.
There's still
Just doing all of this to try to help. No problem. Rudy can chase you with the axe.
What's going on down there, you lot? Come on! And you hear this thundering howl reverberating down the halls as Rickard Steelfang's heavy steps come down the stairs. Making all that ruckus, those three better be back.
We
And
have
we are.
returned.
Ah! Whoa, what's that? That's...
It's the biggest axe I've ever had.
That's a lot of axe.
And only one big woman, big enough, strong enough to carry it.
Well, as long as you're not swinging it at me.
Funny thing.
Here's the...
We have the components for the undoing of your curse.
You do.
We are
Yes.
ready to perform the ritual.
You are.
On the full moon in 2 days.
What?
Are you surprised?
Just a little. Yeah. I have to say. Honestly, I thought that you guys were never coming back.
We made an agreement, and I made a promise.
Yeah.
What good is a man if he can't keep his word, Rickard?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Rickard, Where is Elias Drexel?
I've kept my word too. He's here. He's still alive.
Is he well?
He is.
Good.
Can we see him? Make sure you're keeping your word.
Go get him. We had a... Been a rough couple days since you've been gone. The Countess has her own cronies out and about. They've been looking for you, too. It's been hard to keep the cover up.
We thank you for your efforts, Rickard.
I'm sure by now the Countess knows that we weren't anywhere that she expected us to be.
We had a run-in with her ourselves on our journeys. It's complicated.
So the game's up then. She knows you're coming for her.
It's hard to say. She knows we're around. But our meeting was not anywhere that I think either of us expected. And so she might not... She never asked any questions. She never gathered any information. It was a very brief meeting. She might just think that we're lost. Perhaps dead? Although by this point she probably knows we're not, but...
You are the wild card, Rickard. You are what she does not
All
expect.
right. So what is this cure? Do I drink it? Do I... Just tell me you don't have to stick it up my butt.
I mean, depends how the battle goes. During the full moon, we are going to perform a ritual. It has to be on the full moon. And we may have to fight you in your Loop Guru form. But once the
You're
ritual...
gonna fight me under the full moon.
With the ritual in place,
And this.
So that is for me.
with this axe and the ritual in place, it will undo your curse.
That sounds a lot like killing me.
Nope. We brought someone to make sure that doesn't happen.
And Rickard, I haven't lied to you yet.
What does this whole ritual entail?
There's like tears, some sparkling...
A concoction.
You
if
drink a
would say.
concoction.
Okay. I figured there'd be some kind of potion, but what's all this ritual business?
You transform,
Under
and
the
you
full
must
moon.
be mortally wounded.
Mortally wounded?
But then healed by the special guest that we brought. And they will make sure that you do not pass up.
It sounds like some kind of yarn to get me vulnerable and off me.
Why, if we wanted to off you, would we choose under the full moon to do so? And why would we have brought a unicorn?
Why would
You
we
have a
make
unicorn?
We have a unicorn. Charlemagne came to, yeah.
Yes. That was our special guest.
You have a unicorn.
We brought a unicorn to perform the ritual to cure you. The mortal wound is an important part of the ritual.
I never thought there was any such thing as unicorns.
Well, I'm here to surprise you, Rickard, because, again, I've kept my word this far. If I wanted to kill you, I wouldn't choose a full moon to do so.
Fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't choose a full moon to try to kill me either. And I gotta be honest with you. You better be ready for it, because look it, I can't control myself under the full moon.
We know.
I can't be held responsible for what I might do
We
under
know.
the full moon.
As,
But we're going to take some extra precautions, are we not?
I was actually just going to ask, as a professional, your opinion probably matters the most. Are there any precautions you recommend we take?
Besides not doing it.
I mean, that would be probably the best precaution I could say.
Yes.
Normally, around this time before a full moon, I take myself out as far into the woods as I can get myself.
Is
Let
there
myself go wild.
I mean, of course, we should be not around other people while we're doing this.
is there anything sturdy enough to bind you, to hold you, to restrain you?
Well, I once tried tying myself to a tree. I once tried chaining myself to a tree. I once tried locking myself in a cage. I once tried locking myself in a cage that was tied to a tree. I once tried, well, there was that one time that I was locked in a cage on a ship. That was bad. Oh, man. Oh. There was that one time I went in a cave and we rolled the stone in front of it. Yeah, that didn't work. Yeah, so,
I mean, I'm sure we're not expecting these restraints to keep you tied down the whole time, but at least to give us a little bit of extra help while we fight you on a full moon in your loup-garou form.
If we can get a few swings at you,
I mean, I heard that there was this one time that this wizard tried to use a spell on me, but it lasted for about, 30 seconds, and then I disemboweled him.
there's a lot that we can do with 30 seconds.
Disemboweled? What was that? That last part?
The wizard cast a spell and then he disemboweled the
But
wizard.
remember, if you're disemboweled, we can bring you back.
Yeah, I don't want to waste it that early.
Under the full moon, you see. Magic don't work too good against me.
Interesting.
Well, that makes 1.5 of us not very adequate. It doesn't work too well. Are you being coy with it doesn't work at all?
Well, I guess you could say that the magical resistance of a loup-garou under a full moon is legendary.
You could say that.
Yes, I understand what you mean.
Well,
And that it bestows some very potent advantages for me when I try to shake out of a spell.
Noted.
there, Rickard, I must ask, is this, do you wish to see the light? Do you wish to be brought back in to that of the eternal flame?
You have a crazy-looking axe there, and you brought a unicorn with you, which I still haven't seen yet, so maybe you're just pulling my leg. But if that's true, yeah. But I'm telling you, get me under the full moon. I'm probably gonna kill you.
Well,
That's the only chance we have, Rickard. And again, we promised.
Is there a way we may... Can we poison you? Can we
No.
infect you
No.
beforehand? Can we...
Does silver hurt you more?
Yes.
Is there a chance that we can silver my blade before the fight?
melt down the utensils.
Melt down the
finally use the
utensils.
utensils?
Oh, the thing is that I can be wounded. Of course, you can even stab me, but any wound that isn't caused by inherited silver just heals right over.
So Rudy's the only one who can hurt you. I have an idea.
You know, in other words, he explains, he will regenerate from any wound caused unless that wound was caused by a weapon made of inherited silver, in which case that defeats his regeneration.
Which is fine because we have Rudy.
I got another idea, too. What's your idea?
I mean, I could chat with him under the full moon and draw his attention to me. How fast are you when you're at your full potential?
Get the information about him.
He had, okay. To give you a
We're asking Rickard about his stat block.
yeah, he can share a little bit of that. I fear nothing. You can't sway me with any words. You can't control my mind with magic. And I will outrun you.
Then I guess our only option is to stand and fight and hope Rudy delivers the killing blow with this new axe.
And you're gonna, like, not actually kill me, right?
You'll be returned without the curse.
We will mortally wound you.
But, like, what? The unicorn's gotta be there, right?
Yeah, so don't kill the unicorn.
Charlemagne will be within.
Oh, well, but I can't promise that. I mean, one thing that I know is that I usually go for the livestock first.
I'm sure Charlemagne can be invisible.
We'll
Or fly.
We'll put it in a
Oh,
tree.
no, I'll smell it.
Fly.
We are going to cast Fly on the unicorn. You know, this is sounding like it's going to go well.
As a precaution, can Charlemagne write its name in the Book of Protectors? I can have 4 names.
You'll have to ask Charlemagne. Charlemagne is not here right now.
Okay, because we could maybe ask.
Yeah.
It gives a fighting chance.
I've also got an idea. Maybe just slow him down just a little bit. You said you can turn mud into stone, right? Mm-hmm. What if, before the full moon, we bury him in some mud, we turn it to stone, and then he's kind of like...
If we can dig a hole in the woods, neck height on Rickard,
And then I just hit his head.
as the full moon comes, we turn it into stone.
Love
and
it.
We chip away at his head with the axe.
I mean, I'm sure he can get out of it, but at least it gives us a little bit of time.
I don't know how long it will give us, but it's something. Rickard, we're going to seal you in stone and chop your head off.
Like with some space underneath, so when he gets bigger, of course, when he transforms. Give it a little give, or else it's just going to break, but...
And then the unicorn will save you.
You know, there was this long time ago where I think a wizard did try to do that to me. I've never seen him again. I just woke up and there was blood everywhere.
But maybe you took a few seconds to get out of it. And those few seconds could be...
I mean, a few seconds is all I need to rip your throat out.
I understand, but that's also all the time we need to chop your throat out.
Rickard, you say your thirst for livestock is inquenchable?
I mean, so I've been told, but usually, you know, the livestock is the first thing that I get my fangs on. I always did love a good steak.
What if we... Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
We are going to go rob a farm. We're going to gather the livestock of a nearby farm. We're going to bring it to the site. We're going to set the livestock there as bait. We will... It might distract him. You become an animal. You don't... We still seal him in stone, and we get the swings in. Once he breaks out of the stone, we run away.
We assume he goes for the livestock at least.
Let me
But I can
let
see when
me
he
just let you know. I can't control myself. But I'm not dumb. I know that.
And so if we're swinging an axe at you, you will attack us.
Well, maybe we do everything we can to get me out of there every time I gotta swing the axe. I'm sure we can figure out some sort of strategy.
Do you have more powers under a full moon? I mean, you're part...
I'm not a Luke-garoo. I get a little bit testy, but, you know.
If we attempt this and succeed, we gain a powerful ally. But if we attempt this and fail, we may call upon the druid's request much earlier than anticipated.
I say the only way we can figure this out is to give it a go. If it doesn't work, we wait till the next full moon, I guess. As long as we're
As long
all,
as we're still
as long as we're still around.
And Rickard, it sounds like you've tried just about everything and nothing has worked. And it's hard for you to recall if anything half worked or kind of worked or worked better.
Now, I can transform myself. But under the full moon, I can't control myself, and I know that I'm much stronger.
Maybe there's a thread there.
I've been told that I'll even talk to people, but I can't be reasoned with. I've had folks tell me that I'll say off things and howl and... Yeah, it's like I'm not me anymore.
Understood. So it will be a battle if we are to save you. We'll have to fight you to save you.
Well, let me put it this way. All your planning shouldn't be for nothing. But if I do say so myself, I am a very formidable specimen. And I'm telling you that this curse, it's gonna put up a fight. I've been fighting it my whole life. And it will howl at the moon to stay in this world.
Do you have any you have your forces, your men, your women. Do you have any extra?
You would do well to have all my soldiers very far away from me.
No, I understand that, but what about their...
Because they will be under my control during the full moon.
Yes.
And they will turn against you.
Do you have any explosives? Any
Remember? In the
Yeah, you do.
the box.
Yes.
The comet.
Perhaps we gear up with all the stuff in that cart. Maybe not all of it, but enough to give us an edge against Luke Garou in the moonlight. Some bottled comets. What else was in there? Was there...
We didn't see it.
Oh, we
Did
didn't see it?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see.
Well, with
It
that.
says we have 8 bottled comets.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else in there.
We could use those to, with a couple of well-timed strikes, we could give Rudy the opportunity to have the killing blow quite quickly.
And especially if we can somehow get me into distract him with the bottled comet, and maybe make me invisible or get me out of there and get back in and out some way.
Bear in mind, of course, you were planning on using these bottled comets for the Countess, so use this resource very carefully.
We don't want to use all 8.
No, I say we take 1 each. 3. Save the rest for the Countess. But, Wrath, I know that he'll be able to smell us. So perhaps turning us invisible doesn't do anything, but casting Fly on us, allowing us all to keep our distance.
Well, and what if we spread our scent around the area preemptively, when we figure out an area and know where we're going to do it, confuse the senses?
Could we throw off your scent by leaving garments of ours, other bits?
You left all your clothes in.
Cover ourselves in mud!
I think... Let me put it this way. You might be able to, but but I wish I could tell you that I acted like a full animal when I'm transformed. I don't. The one thing that I can smell, and I can smell it too when I'm transformed, is a trap.
But just because you smell a trap doesn't mean you can avoid it.
That's true. Now, if you're gonna try to blow me up, like, you know, you're really gonna heal me at this. Like, this is what it takes, right?
It's exactly what it
You're the
takes.
one putting these thoughts in my head that we need to blow you up, Rickard. So I hope that we are on the same page, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure you die and come back.
Well, not die, almost die. And if you need the reassurance of said unicorn, I'm sure within the next few days we can get you talking to Charlemagne and
We should have a meeting with all of us.
talk about a plan.
Yeah.
I think between the comets, between potentially creating a stone thing underground before it transforms,
We seal him in stone. We scatter our scent. We cast fly. We throw bottled comets. Rudy,
Just remember that if you do use anything like a bomb on me, I will regenerate from that wound. If you don't seal it with silver.
I think then it's best that the two of us try to lay down as much damage as possible while Rudy seals that damage in.
well, and I can prepare every time you hit him that I hit him with the axe.
I think as long as we have a few seconds, right? Your healing doesn't happen, like it takes a few seconds. So if I blow you up,
Basically, at the start of each of his turns,
Yeah.
he regenerates.
yeah. So as long as
Yeah.
Rudy hits him every turn,
Yeah.
it seals that damage in.
Yeah.
It's really going to depend on how the battle gets laid out. Initiative.
You're going to unfortunately need to be in close quarters with him constantly. Well, the two of us are going to stand back and try to pile on as much damage as possible. We're going to have to aim those bottled comets to not affect Rudy. We might, still think that we seal him in the ground,
Okay.
hit him with bottled comets, and then Rudy runs in, smashes him with the axe. He'll probably break out. And then we just keep it up.
As long as he's been hitting with silver, he won't regain those points.
And as long as you're toe to toe with him, I can look for openings and jump in and try to hit weak spots.
So just so that you know, with transmute rock, if you transmute mud to rock, this is what happens. No, non-magical mud and quicksand in an area no more than 10 feet deep transforms into soft stone for the spell's duration. A creature in the mud, when it's transformed, makes a dex save. On a successful save, the creature is shunted to a surface outside. Now you could technically have him there before he...
That's the idea, is
yeah.
he willingly gets in the pit and we seal it.
On a failed save, the creature is restrained,
mud
and the restrained creature can use an action to try to break the rock by making a DC 20 strength check, or by dealing damage to it. The rock has AC 15 and 25 hit points, and is immune to poison and psychic damage.
Either way, that takes up a turn. That's the idea.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it to take up a turn.
Yeah.
And maybe he rolls a 1. I don't know.
Who knows?
It's a chance.
Who knows?
But I think that's worth taking, as long as he's willing to get in the pit, because that's important. We set that up before he transforms.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And is there anything additionally magic wrath that you think we need to add?
Well, we can do among the robe of useful items is a pit.
Oh.
So once we find our clearing, once we find our place, we may place the pit, fill it with mud,
Mud. Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah, we'll just fill
Maybe
it.
we should dig the pit, because then we actually have the dirt.
Yeah,
maybe
then it
that's
will be muddy.
Yeah,
We
can
don't
just-
we don't need to waste your
we
magic.
troll it up. We mix it up.
But do you have anything else in there that we could, I don't know, like a horse, a livestock to throw at him?
Some mastiffs.
Throw some mastiffs at him.
I also have a question.
Just whip dogs.
Absolutely. Just to be clear with Rickard, the livestock might throw him off only if there is not another threat. So like
Yeah,
he's still as intelligent as a man.
I totally understand. I'm just, if we can throw more bodies on the board, if we can throw more meat shields, if we
You're
can.
just trying to kill mastiffs, like mission accomplished. But
No,
like,
if the mastiffs can get a few bites, okay. You know what? We don't have to kill your magical pocket
I also
dogs.
probably should have mentioned that, I still have all my memories. So it's not like I'm gonna forget this conversation.
We should probably be having this conversation away from.
Does that? But so you'll remember that you want us to do this, but you won't be able to stop killing us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Conflicting. It's going to be a tough night for you too.
Is there any thread of you, Rickard, that we may attempt to hold on to? Something buried deep inside that you can help us fight from within.
Again, you can try, but it's never worked.
I have 2 questions. Number 1, does Rickard have to be transformed into the wolf form for this to work the whole time?
The Loop Guru must be mortally wounded under a full moon by inherited silver.
So at least if he takes the mortal wound while he's in his wolf form, under the moon, correct?
I mean, this is magic, so don't try to legalize your way out of
I
magic.
know. Is he a shape changer?
He is.
Okay.
What?
Well,
Should we go?
Moonbeam,
Yeah.
a shape changer makes a saving throw, and if they fail, they revert back to their original form. And I'm wondering if that will undo. I guess it would undo the magic.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to do that.
We don't
no.
want him to revert back.
Okay.
But I like the idea of Rickard. How comfortable are you being hurt now? Can we do some pre-work on ya? Can we rough you up a bit?
Probably gain that
Chop
back.
off an arm,
Just
leg,
poke you around, poke you a few times.
pull your teeth out, maybe.
How comfortable are you being closer to mortally wounded than you are normally?
I mean, you can if you want to, but it's going to regenerate by then.
Oh, right. He
Unless we
regenerates.
do it with the give Rudy a couple of free swim. I know earlier you really offered the decapitation trick. Maybe we don't go that far, but we sort of explore maybe an arm. Look, Rickard, I know that you are a powerful being, and we will do our best while you are under this control to remove this curse. It may be our only way of. Well, we made a deal.
I will also put this out there, Rickard, and I have no idea how powerful you are. The 3 of us fought squid-faced creatures from another dimension. We fought a giant fish monster that was mind-controlling an entire city. We fought rattling creatures in a submarine, or that owned a submarine somewhere, in a boat. We just came back from fighting a demon with tiny wings that flew through the air with them regardless and bit my leg. We fought
Scary.
we fought a hydra
So why do you need my help again?
because vampires scare me.
Ah!
More quantity than quality, that we're having
The-
the problem with. It's easy to get overrun by many vampires.
So after all that, you're scared of a lovely lady vampire.
It's more so that the vampire rests in a castle surrounded by minions that is hard to infiltrate. I know this castle. It is meant to withhold siege and battle. It is not easy to get in and destroy a vampire when it is surrounded by all of its minions. There were 20 or so coffins in the basement there. Creatures came after us, and we had to lock the door behind us. Being overwhelmed is not going to work in our favor. Recruiting you and your men means that we push the odds in our favor.
But you know that once you undo this curse, we're not going to have the power anymore.
But you are still a valiant warrior.
Yeah,
You're still strong.
but I mean, full moon's still 2 days away.
What he suggests, if I may say, is we destroy the Countess now.
Because then you can't die.
Well, not by her hands and not anymore.
Rickard, we've had every chance to double cross you, to escape, to flee. But we have kept our end of the promise, and we will see it through. Now, I know that you have a history of offering people what's the best dollar, what's going to get you ahead. But if you truly want this, and I believe you do, then I need you to be a man of your word. And if you think it's best that you and your men, at the power that you now hold, help us take on the castle, then we have 2 days to do that. And when it is done, we will return and we will free you of your curse.
It's not an easy decision. Because I don't really know what she's capable. I mean, she hired us, right? And I gotta tell you, if you cure me, it's like, how do I know you're gonna, like, you've done a... Yeah. Yeah, we can do it.
Know that, regardless of who you are or what you've done, we go above and beyond to help those in need. And we may have started as enemies, but we see that you're in need. We are willing to put our lives at risk. Right, boys?
We have this far. We just came back from...
See, I don't want to be your wild dog. I don't want you to hold this promise of freeing me from my curse over my head. How do I know that, we're going to do it right away?
We have the full moon, and I don't want to wait till the next one. It's in all of our best interests that we do this in 2 days. The druid and the unicorn have come to help. They too want to go home. All of us want to go home. And when the curse is lifted, if the castle is free, Rickard, I offer you this choice now. When the curse is lifted, you can choose, if you want, to join the Hooded Lanterns and fight in an army beholden to the name of the Von Kessels. But if that is not in your interest, if you have a family to return to, or you want to settle down and your days are over, then I give you free leave to end your reign as one of the greatest warriors. Put your boots up and retire. That choice is up to yours. Whatever suits you best when the curse is lifted is up to you, and I will allow it.
All right. All right. Let me go talk to the boys. Elias Drexel's upstairs.
Let's go see him.
We will confer.
The man leads you up to Elias Drexel, who immediately expresses incredulation at what you've accomplished. He says, Wilhelm, I am so sorry. You have proven yourself wise and brave man. You and Rudy and Wrath, I don't believe what you've accomplished. This is incredible.
Thank you. We're just trying to do our part.
I have to admit, When I saw you, I thought I was going to be throwing my life away again. But there might be hope yet. You might not realize this yet, but maybe you're not the king that Westamar deserves, but you're the king that it needs.
It's a burden, one that I will have to contemplate for some time, but it seems like the name's coming out, and
We need to be careful. Even though it is vitally important that even as you position yourself, we can't let the Academy know yet.
Oh.
we haven't let them know yet. You haven't told anybody.
He is the Academy.
Yeah,
Does
what
the
is
Academy
the...
know that
He is a
Wilhelm-
person. He is a person who works for the Academy. He's not the Academy.
He's a person that's part of the Academy. There's a difference.
And he's our friend who we just risked our lives to save.
I don't want to make a big issue of this right now, but I just want to keep your identity under wraps. It's for your safety. We don't know who will take advantage of that information and use that against us. Now, this business that you discussed of curing Rickard Steelfang. I have to say, there's one risk that we take by bringing him in there with the Steel Fangs before curing their power. They're still under the employ of the Countess. So if they're still a bunch of werewolves working for a vampire, we could go in there and they could still turn on us.
Mhm.
And then we have two very powerful enemies. We have the opportunity now, if we cure him first, we can make sure that that won't happen.
But
Why?
then we're losing a large advantage having them be werewolves in the first place.
It might not be an advantage we ever had.
This is going to sound weird, and against everything that we've heard, this is going to sound unlikely. But I trust Rickard. Only because he wants this. More than anything, he wants this. He's told us as much as he can about his curse. If he was an enemy, he wouldn't tell us that much detail about how to fight him.
Do you both believe Rickard's telling the truth as well?
The truth is that he could betray us when we arrive at the castle. He could destroy us when we try to remove the curse.
He hasn't moved against us yet.
And we've done all this because if we do not have his forces, and if we do not take back Kesselhelm against the Illyrians, we may not survive.
It's a leap of faith, but in good faith, I've proven to Rickard that we are honorable.
I believe then that the safest thing is to throw the Steel Fangs in first. We can't if you want to engage them, I worry about having Rickard directly confront the Countess.
My plan is that the Steel Fangs lead the charge against the castle. The Hooded Lanterns, as archers, as you are all valiant archers and great at range, will back up the Steel Fangs with arrows and bows. The three of us, we know. I still have. I pull out the old key, I think, that I have to the Kesselholm steward's door, or the servant's door. We have alternate entrances. Not only that, but I'm wondering if that waterfall we saw in Dreamland exists in the real world. We could come up from below. We have many ways that we can get into the castle. Think of us as the special operations.
And I suppose that with this magical axe, we do have an insurance policy if we do need to kill Rickard as well.
Of course, but I really don't think. I don't think it's gonna get to that point. I think if we ended up curing him before we did this, he could still turn on us. They'd just be human as they did it. So
It's true.
he either turns on us then or turns on us after. Either way, we're in a tough spot.
To be honest, I think there's a very good chance that if we did cure them beforehand, that many of them would simply desert. There's a lot of these warriors that are only here because they're cursed.
Once this is done, they're free to leave, but it helps us to have them at full force.
One last fight to
We-
atone.
Yeah.
We don't want them to lose the wind in their sails.
Yes. All right then. We've walked a long path to get here, but we have all the pieces in place. What is our plan?
Like you said, we're gonna send the werewolves in. I think we need to know which entrance we're going in.
The Hooded Lanterns are wanted by the Countess as well. She tried to capture you,
Yeah.
Elias. She tried to capture some of your men. What if the Steel Fangs go to the castle with the Hooded Lanterns, saying that they've captured some of the troops? Once in the castle, they start the attack.
Mutiny.
With the attack in progress, the three of us at the same time will be sneaking in underneath the castle. The Countess may be up dealing with that situation, but I'm sure quickly enough we're going to cause enough ruckus. We're going to pinch from the bottom of the castle and from the top of the castle inwards. And you'll leave the Countess to us.
I don't feel good about using any of my soldiers as bait. It's going to have to be me.
I agree. I don't think it's gonna be anything but the last Drexel that's gonna draw the Countess out.
What if we use the four of us? We
And
are the
I'll
bait.
go in.
When we lose the element of surprise.
Under the guise of we can take the container of explosives, empty out all but what we need. We hide amongst it. The Steel Fangs carry us in, and we perform some sort of ancient horse-like sculpture ritual where we dive out of it, surprising the enemy.
I got one that also keeps us. What if we get a few soldiers to dress like us, like last UB1? That way they think they are bringing us in, and then we can still.
We do also have the, what did we call it? The dream blanket that we need to worry
We
about.
need to get. Yeah.
So I like your plan. I like
But
the
you
horse.
want to get the
Yeah, this is the tough calls. I actually love your plan. I actually feel like kind of the full frontal assault is. I mean, we still surprise her, and then we're all there. And the hard part with the pinching is we don't know where the Countess is going to be. And if the Countess attacks Elias and Rickard, I mean, they're both incredible fighters. So I'm sure you could hold her off, but we would have no way of knowing. We'd be in the dungeon searching the castle while they have to fight the full force.
Remember, the Countess is not alone. She has her own soldiers, her own defenders, her own servants. It's entirely possible that she does not personally engage, and if ambushed, immediately seeks an escape.
This was actually my hope. The idea is that the Steel Fangs and the Hooded Lanterns take on the troops so that they don't swarm us. If we can get to the dream blanket, steal it, then as the Countess goes for her escape, we meet her in the dungeons and confront her.
Have her come to us.
This dream blanket. Strange, but what you say is true. You said the dreamland was a place of twilight. The Countess is a creature of the night. Perhaps her intent was that if ambushed during the day, this gives her an escape under the cover of darkness.
So perhaps an attack during the day is appropriate, because then it's her only escape. She can't leave the castle during daylight.
Yes.
So if we can go through perhaps that tunnel that's still there, find the portal to the dreamland, take it, confront the Countess. Well, the battle wages in the court, in the
Yeah.
Countess's chambers.
We will need to
above.
coordinate carefully. Because I think that if things are not timed properly, if she catches on to something too soon, she may move to escape before you can secure it. But at the same time, if your infiltration is discovered, then she might not allow us into the castle to begin with.
Yes.
So they will have to happen at the same time. As myself and the Steel Fangs go into the castle, you will need to already be moving into position.
We'll probably need some sort of signal to start it all at the same time.
That sending stone is a one-way to river.
Yeah.
We could coordinate based on dawn. At dawn, we could enter the cave below
As the sun rises,
Kesselhelm.
we begin.
Perhaps we should strike before dawn, while there's still darkness, to surprise the Countess with the light. She might be a little bit more reckless before the sun rises, while she knows she still has darkness.
I don't want to give her enough time that she could escape, but
Neither
perhaps
do I.
perhaps an hour before dawn, if we begin. Giving her time to think that she has the advantage. She might lose track of time in the heat of battle.
Indeed.
She might think she has the advantage because it's still night out.
And then, if we take away her dreamland exit, if she tries to flee out another way, if we smash a window, if we can bring her out of the dungeon into a place where she's more vulnerable.
A cornered predator fights to the death, though. So be aware that if we do cut off all her means of escape, she is going to fight her hardest.
And so will we. And if we can kill all of her minions, then there's more of us than there are of her. And I believe that the Steel Fangs are more formidable than her retinue. And we, as long as we have the upper hand.
Okay. Looks like you guys have your plan in motion. Is there anything else that you want to settle before you enact all this? Is there anything else that you want to prepare? Because you will with this plan in motion. If you need anything, if you need any supplies,
I was going to ask, what supplies do the Steel Fangs have that they could offer us going into this.
They can offer you 3 potions of greater healing.
Okay.
Woo.
So we each get 1.
How are you doing on those? I have
I had 1.
2.
I now have 3 with this one.
I know.
Okay.
I now have 2.
Okay, I have 3, so that's pretty good. I may want to contact another plane.
Ooh.
Okay.
As Bruce has reverted to his more natural form, the one that I am familiar with,
Yeah.
I start to become frustrated with the lack of knowledge that he can provide in this form. You know, in Dream World, there was this connection that was maintained and clear, and the channel was strong. But now it is foggy and faded, and I can only get glimpses. He would know what's best.
Okay. So you'd like to cast Contact Other Plane?
Yes.
Okay. A bit of a risky move, but you still would, even if you fail, you'll still have time to enact this plan by the time your sanity is restored.
I'm gonna let the druid. If I go too crazy, what you need to do is tell the druid, tell Charlemagne, I need his horn.
Okay.
All right, Wrath. He's gonna go talk to his cat for a while.
I need
guess.
some time. I must confer with Bruce.
It's all right. We'll just plan the rest of this.
Yeah, while you chat with your cat, we'll go plan an attack on a castle. Thanks, Wrath, as always.
What? Well, you know, to
We've already walked away.
no before you. Bruce's knowledge is deep.
You're following us as we
Yes,
kinda
yes.
walk away?
Wait. When I reach out to him and ask for his assistance, there is little time. There's no guessing what must be asked of Bruce. What do you believe I should?
Wrath, if you need to feed your cat, just feed your cat. Don't make it a big theatrical performance, okay?
Look, Bruce is the reason that we're here. He sealed the gates
All right.
that prevented the something coming into Dreamworld from another dimension and devouring us, including
You're
the
doing that
unicorn.
thing again. Where listen, if you can, fine. Ask your cat how to kill a vampire. Ask your cat how to infiltrate a castle. Ask your cat if he knows any secret entrances. You know.
Well, I mean, can he predict what kind of forces the Countess has?
These are all great ideas.
Great.
Would not love the sarcasm.
I'm not being sarcastic at all.
Is it just because I can't conjure ores on command? Is that why you look
no,
down
you-
upon my?
I-
Yeah, right. Like
No,
it's
it's-
just so
it's
frustrating.
the
Like
theatrics,
she cut
Raph,
down,
the
Rudy
theatrics.
cut down a bunch of trees. You can make ores out of those. There,
I know,
done.
but, like,
you
we're
don't,
gonna
you don't
go-
need me for more ores.
We're gonna
You
go.
wheel it with my giant axe.
We're gonna go plan an attack. You're gonna go feed your cat. You just like to make it sound cooler than it is.
All right,
All right.
I leave
It is
in a
pretty cool,
huff,
Wrath. You do you.
and I go find a small patch of grassland. I'm gonna be outside.
Let him do his fancy magic, and
I'm
we'll
going to
we'll
let
do the
him, I'm
planning. It's
just-
fine.
or my room. No, I'm gonna go to my room in the lodge, and I start to draw the circles on the ground to begin the ritual of contact other plane.
Okay. Make an intelligence saving throw.
These are easy for me. 20.
What?
Did you roll a natural 20?
Yeah, I don't.
All right.
We're making
I didn't
20s
think,
happen
I didn't
today.
think that
Wow.
was gonna happen.
Handing out those 20s. Oh, man. So instead of going insane and eating a towel the first time you can, like some other mage we know, the first time.
What's with that?
I feel like there's the bond from Dreamland is still quite strong, and it is easy to reestablish a link to Bruce. The channels are still. I can still feel them. I can still feel his presence.
Yeah.
In my mind, and as I draw circles around my cat and feed him the last bits of fish people that I have. It's quite dry. You know how fish gets, and I reach out to him.
As you finish casting the spell, your mind opens to where you glimpsed into the void, and you behold a fraction of the true form of Bruce. The cat purrs, the humming fills your ears. It is waiting for you to ask your question.
Are you proud of me?
You get one question, right?
You get 5.
Oh my
Have I done well?
That's 2. The response to the first question comes, pride is irrelevant. The second answer, for now.
Will Rickard betray us?
Doubtful.
Do we have the means to kill the Countess?
Yes. What is your final question?
I have so many.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of something,
Its tail
important,
waggles
but also,
impatiently.
Wrath is very what is your next request of me?
The purring grows louder. And it responds with a single word. Victory.
And then I imagine as quickly as this link was created, it starts to vanish and dissipate and flicker, and then I'm suddenly back in a room with a cat.
Yep. The cat does that thing where like they lick their lip, their chops, and then just starts cleaning itself.
I know what I know now. He's really proud of me. Actually, very proud.
Just Wrath alone in a room.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sick. So sick. Wrath is jazzed. The most powerful spell I've ever cast.
Also, the most emotion Wrath has ever shown is alone in a room after talking to his cat. He finally has a moment that breaks the mold of Wrath.
Contain yourself.
We're not even there. We're in the war room. We're planning.
What seems like an eternity, but only probably about 15 minutes goes by, and then I join you two.
Good chat with your cat.
The rest of the day is spent in preparations, and obviously introductions are made between Tadek, Charlemagne, and as well as Rickard and Elias. The plan is set in motion that the Steel Fangs will bring a covered wagon with the Hooded Lanterns prisoners and drive it up to Kesselholm as the group of you prepare at dawn. I just want to check in. Rudy, is there anything that you wanted to do before you get all this going?
No, I think. Do I still have the sending stones to my family?
Yeah.
I send them a quick message being like, having a great time on the road. Hope y'all are well. Miss you. Kisses. Mwah.
They tell you the response comes as an exhaustive list of what they had for dinner.
Oh my. Where's this hero's feast that we heard about? I'm hungry now.
Oh yeah, we are supposed to have that
Yeah.
before.
And that evening, that evening, as you prepare to bed down before you get up at dawn, Tadek conjures forth a hero's feast. And it is very much like a hunter's feast. What appears is venison, game meats, duck, wild fruits, nuts and berries, all the things that you would find, like what you could imagine as a hunter's feast, conjured forth. So with the benefits of this spell,
I only eat the duck.
Daisy.
each of you,
Oh no.
your hit point maximums are increased by 10.
Ooh.
You are immune to poison and fear. And you make your wisdom saving throws with advantage for the next 24 hours.
Now, from the time we do the feast, does
These
it hit the
benefits
full
last
moon?
24 hours.
Does it hit the full moon?
It will not.
And wisdom saves are.
It's like maybe we can do this at the same time.
All right. Immune to frightened. Wisdom saves have advantage. Oop, I'm rolling dice apparently.
Resistance to. How do I do?
Is it immune to fear or resist? No,
Immune.
immune to fear. Cool.
Immune
Yep.
to fear.
67 hit points. I'm almost as good as you guys normally are.
You get up there.
I'm at 95.
All right, well, eat up. Good stuff.
Mm.
So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna bring Eldrick. I'm gonna bring Elias and these others dressed up as you up to the castle. You're going in underground, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when you do, we'll try to catch each other as I go over the bridge. And that'll be the signal that we're all on point. You're gonna have to move real quick once you're in there, okay?
Yes.
Of course, Wrath. Anyway, you can turn us invisible before we go in.
We can use the form of invisibility. It lasts up to 1 hour. I can cast it.
An hour should be all we need to at least get. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can have it affect everybody now.
Yeah, and we could at least I was just wondering if you wanted to do it like as we get there. Is that the idea, or like just before we get there?
Just about.
Yeah, just
Okay.
as we're
Yeah.
just like before we're in eye shot of the castle, we cast it in an hour. By the time an hour's up, That should be enough time that if people are alerted to us, the battle will have begun.
And so you want to go in the servants' entrance, the servants, like through the servants' tower.
Are we able to, like, maybe this night before we go to bed, like, can Houdini or something scout to see, is that entrance from the Dreamland in the real world? The waterfall entrance?
The waterfall entrance.
Not to send Houdini on your
No,
behalf.
that's okay. It's I'm just thinking he can only go so far as a familiar, right?
Yeah, only he can go far, but you can only like see through their senses from 100 feet.
100 feet. Okay. Yeah.
What about
Then, do I know, where does the servants' entrance open up to?
So as you recall, just to remind you the structure of the keep, I will have it built out for next week for you, but it's actually important that we discuss this so I know what to build out specifically for next time, because this is the big castle. So as you recall, Castleholm Castle straddles this ravine, right? There's a bridge that goes across. There's a gatehouse on the southern side, and the castle's on the northern side. It's a square keep with rounded turrets on each side, and then there's bridges that extend to 2 other towers. The tower on the east side is where the stewards' quarters are and where the servants' quarters are, and there is a doorway that connects to that from outside. The little court, like it forms a little courtyard. So you can get in through that door, but then you actually have to take the secret entrance to get into the main part of the keep. But then you also know that there's the secret entrance into the cells through that tower, right? Now, what you do also know is that there is another secret, and there's a drainage pipe from the castle kitchens that you could take to get in. But Wilhelm, from what you recall, that would lead you into the kitchens, but then you'd have to go through the Great Hall to get anywhere, which would bring you into the collision course. So from the servants' entrance door, getting that is on the wall of the courtyard. So you would either get there by scaling the wall, or going down the ravine and coming back up and climbing, or you'd need to fly somehow, or otherwise. Like, there's a bunch of different ways that you can get in there, but if you're all invisible, that's gonna cover your entrance.
Yeah. So my thought is that we turn invisible. Because we're unsure of the waterfall entrance, maybe it's best that we just use the servants' entrance.
Yeah.
Under the cover of invisibility, we sneak in. With my boots, I can climb no problem. I could fasten a rope for you two, if you want.
so we don't need to fly?
Yeah. Save your spells. We get in through that entrance. We sneak down into the dungeon. Our main priority is to steal the moon blanket,
Yeah.
or the whatever we're calling it.
Avoid all the things on the way as much as we can.
With invisibility, hopefully some rattling chains and doors slamming are... I mean, it's a pretty haunted castle. I hope they don't
Yeah,
notice
you
too
remember
much.
that way. Also, there were the grates. Like, it wasn't really friendly to people just walking in.
Yeah. Big Rudy ripped a few of those off. I hope they haven't had time to repair them.
I've had quite a few days, so it's possible.
Repairing a wall in a grate takes more than... I don't know.
Well, the other thing is, instead of the servants' entrance, we could go through the well.
True.
Yeah, you could just leap right down the well.
Down the well, and then if we have to take off a grate and lose our invisibility, at least for me, I can do it.
True. Then why don't we head down the well?
Okay.
All right.
So your goal is to get in, jump down the well, and get right to business.
Yeah.
Alrighty, sounds excellent. With your plan in place, the final thing that Elias Drexel says is this: I have one last thing. He hands you a flare gun. We use these in the lanterns to signal each other. He shows you the canisters. Okay. There's 4 canisters that you can fire. black smoke, red smoke, green smoke, and blue smoke. Okay.
No, you got it.
If you've got her, there's a very good chance that if you get her, we're going to be embattled elsewhere on the keep with the rest of our soldiers. If you bring her to battle and manage to slay her, fire the green smoke. If you bring her to battle, but you need help, fire the red smoke. Okay? If you are going to retreat, fire the blue smoke. And if Wilhelm dies, fire the black smoke.
Oh. Not any of us. Wow.
I know that we all have smoke colors. That's
Or do we assume I'm... okay. All right.
keep the black one loaded. Just keep it ready to go.
Sorry?
Pardon? So I've just been talking about cat a lot.
So what I'm getting at is green, we kill the vampire lady.
Yeah.
Red, we need help with the vampire lady. Blue, retreat. And black is the king is dead. All right.
On our end, if we engage the Countess, if the Countess ends up engaging us, we will fire the red smoke. If we need to retreat, we'll fire the blue smoke. If Rickard betrays us, we'll fire the black smoke. And if we secured the upper floors of the keep, we'll fire the green smoke.
Now, if we're underground, how...
The smoke, again, it
We'll
just lets us
do our
know.
best.
Like it's the easiest way for us to find out from each other what's happened.
We'll at least be able to shoot it out of the well. So
Um,
more likely, if we go to shoot something out, we'll see if there's smoke in the sky.
It just lets us know as soon as you can tell us.
Absolutely. Perhaps, if Houdini can... Although
Carry
we
it
might,
up there.
Yeah, the familiars can't really fire it.
Well, no, I was thinking more the Houdini could watch the skies, because we're going to be underground, so we wouldn't see them shoot a flare. But we also might want Houdini for the battles.
Yeah.
We can keep an eye out.
Yeah, we'll look through holes.
Right.
Great holes.
With that, your forces assemble, and starting next week, we will take a raid from the infiltration. So that's what we're gonna have for the night. That was a lot of planning, but it felt like we needed a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting ready.
We need to figure out all our ideas, get them out on the table.
I think it was important to ask Bruce how proud he was and how much he thinks I'm a good boy. And I hope that he pet me in Dream World or wherever he's from. He gave me a nice pet.
Scritches.
Yeah.
Yep.
I imagine.
Well, we're going to end off there. A big thank you, as always, to Joe, Kelly, and Jill for playing their awesome characters and rolling all those 20s tonight.
Got really lucky.
I thought I was at least going to get a couple more rounds out of that comment.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do a 1 in a million dice roll there. So,
Yeah.
a huge thank you as well to Kyle for all the work he's doing behind the scenes and just being beautiful.
Yay!
Thank you, Kyle.
Beautiful.
And huge thank you to our dungeon master, Martin,
Hey.
for accepting my crits and letting me end combat encounters.
That was outrageous. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
We probably won't ever see it again. I mean, maybe we will.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I figure, you know what? I think that's one of those things of like, play role-playing games so much that you get to see that happen more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play
dream.
that many role-playing games.
You know what?
dream.
Don't worry, I'll just make it happen again next week.
Yeah.
You will. And in our game tonight, we use a variety of incredible assets produced by talented artists, and you can use them at your home games too. They have graciously given us permission to use them in our stream games. We have the Dwarven Forge with the awesome terrain, and tune in next week for more of it.
Bringing the castle down.
Yeah. The miniatures by WizKids and Hero Forge, the player character artwork by Jeremy Cole, and music by Tabletop Audio. But I'm excited for seeing what you have next week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring store where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes merch, including our newest Shadows of Drakkenheim, which can be purchased in a t-shirt, a sweater, or a poster. Check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
And of course, our videos and live streams are made possible thanks to the incredible generosity of our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy our work, please consider becoming a patron of our show by following the links in the description below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes. Our patrons make it possible for us to do things like upgrade our gear and our equipment and continue to make sure that we have all these things, all the lights running and all these things. And we are so grateful to them for being super awesome and participating in all of our awesome stuff. We actually have a Q&A coming up this week with our patrons where they're going to send us some questions. So patrons, be ready to look out for that. That'll be coming up, and we'll be doing that on YouTube as well. By the time this goes up on YouTube, that'll have already happened, but you get the idea.
We also have a phenomenal Discord community, which is exclusive to our patrons. And there's so much cool stuff happening on Discord. That's where you can come and chat with us about all things D&D, all things Drakkenheim. We have a behind the screen chat where you can talk to Monty without the three of us seeing. We also have a bunch of chat about our recently successful Kickstarter, the upcoming Dungeons of Drakkenheim book. So if you want to get in on all of that, join our Patreon, hop onto Discord, and come hang out with us. Even Kyle's there. You can chat with Kyle.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime opportunity, you get to chat with the Kyle.
The Kyle.
Kelly and I post new videos every other Tuesday and every Thursday on YouTube. So check that out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
Be sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show later on YouTube and check us out as an audio-only podcast.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time in the Shadows of Drakkenheim.